Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you for being with me again today. Today, I will discuss two articles that are talking about the Azovstal steel plant defenders who surrendered in the past week, and the Russians took over the Azovstal steelworks plant in its entirety, and as no more fighters, Ukrainian fighters, anywhere in the bunkers, catacombs, bunkers, whatever it is. So used to be. I think the Russians, according to their statements, they will raise that, and I don't know what they're going to build on top of it. So today we're going to discuss the who and where are the prisoners. As you know, the Russians are claiming that they will be organized in a few groups. Some would be prisoners of war that would follow under the Geneva Convention. Those are regular military personnel fighting in behalf of Ukraine. And with them would be the volunteers. And I think that would be it. Then you have the second group, then where you have the mercenaries. And the mercenaries are paid fighters, obviously, to get, I mean, not for the country necessarily, but for um, gaining material rewards. And then is the third group, which I think that's not, I think that's the group that Russia is most focused on. And that was part of the reasons why Russia invaded invaded militarily Ukraine. The Azov battalion, and not necessarily the Azov battalion, but the people with a certain ideology, which is the ideology of Germany from 1930s or 1945. I don't want to say 33, only when they took the power, but you know what I mean. So those and the nationalists, those are the third category, or maybe they will be court-martialed and they will not be exchanged with prisoners, Russian prisoners in Ukraine, held by the Ukrainians. That's a certainty. And these Ukrainian or whomever are the nationalists and the Nazi guys, allegedly, plus maybe some foreign fighters and or some NATO commanders. These were allegations and rumors that there might be an Azovstal plant. So I'm very, very interested to find out who were the guys trapped in there. So the first article that I'm discussing is an article coming from Reuters from May 21st, 2022. And this is the title: Ukrainian Azovstal forces arrive in Olenivka. Olenivka, it's near Donetsk, and from what I read in a previous article yesterday, this is where it's a camp, but we'll find out. It says here that they were taken by bus in the Russian-controlled town of Olenivka near Donetsk. The full abandonment of the bunkers and tunnels of the bombarded out plant of Azov regiment means an end by the Azov regiment means an end to the most destructive siege of war that began when Russia invaded Ukraine nearly 3 months ago. And I'm quoting: the territory of Azovstal metallurgical plant has been completely liberated, the ministry said in a statement. It said the group that had surrendered comprised of 531 people. That's the last one that surrendered, and allegedly those are the commanders and persons of interest. The rest were civilians, wounded, critically wounded, fighters, regular fighters, and they being the Ukrainians stated that these are the commanders who remain there now. 531, that's a lot. So Moscow called the Azov regiment / battalion. I posted a video regarding that about 2 months ago when the whole saga with the Azov battalion started, and Mariupol and Azovstal. Moscow calls the Azov regiment / battalion Nazis. This is quote unquote. The unit formed in 2014 as a militia to fight Russia-backed separatists, denies being fascist, and Ukraine says it has been formed from its racial radical nationalist origins. Now, remember, this is a newspaper, or it's an I'm sorry, it's a outlet, media outlet that would be positive, or want to cast a positive light on the regiment. So remember, this is going to be all barely telling the truth, in a way that will tell the truth but will not tell all truth. And when we're going to have to use certain terms that apply to the regiment, or to, they will use euphemisms, nicely put, so you don't really think that they are what the other guys claim. I'm not saying the other guys are right, but the way this article, so just is written in that way. So keep that in mind, and I know you are keeping that in mind because it's from Reuters after all, right? So as here, it's a fight Russian-backed separatist. Yeah, and what they did over there, they tell you, no, denied being fascist. Some of them did not. Some of them straight up, they say we are. So yeah, that's you can still watch videos on YouTube regarding their statements and so on, and their insignia, for instance. And it has been reformed from its radical nationalist origins. Always ask and see the person that is labeled in a certain way. Ask that person, okay, who are you? What are you? You can still find videos on YouTube with these people saying what they are. And in the video I posted a while ago, I uploaded some links where you have some guys, leaders, talking about who they are. And that was in 2022, I think, in January, or some of 2019, 2020, December, I think it was January 2022. So anyway, Kiev calls the defenders heroes, saying they dogged help tie down Russia forces and allow Ukraine to succeed elsewhere on the battlefield. Okay, maybe not. So they are taken to the um, um, they are taken to this. They call it a camp, or but it's a military compound where they will probably, not probably, certainly will be interviewed, stripped down, checked, and so they can talk. And then we find out who they were, and obviously there were some, will be probably, obviously there will be exaggerations, and they will say things that probably never occurred, but that's how it works when you interrogate people. So the other article is from the Hindu, and it's from the Associated Press as well, taken by Hindu on May 21st, 2022, and this is the title, Ukraine Crisis, Who Were Mariupol Last Defenders? So it says here, the Ukrainian forces who made a determined last stand in Mariupol steel mill against Russian troops were a mixture of seasoned soldiers, border guards, a controversial National Guard regiment, and volunteers who took up arms in the weeks before Russia's invasion. Yeah, that's, again, remember, these are euphemisms and, mild terms. You can use the same name for these guys, the same terminology, but with a bad connotation if you really want. This is a mild take, but it's okay. That's fine. We're going to find out anyway, eventually, right? Yes. So who are the defenders? Then the Russia's defense minister said a total of 2,439 Ukrainian fighters from the steelworks has surrendered since Monday, including over 500 on Friday, 531, according to Russian state. The fighters who held out Azovstal they were for much the 3-month siege of Mariupol, with Ukrainian civilians who sought safety in the plant, underground bunkers and tunnels, came from a variety of different military and law enforcement units, according to Ukrainian officials. Ukrainian officials. There was the Azov regiment, which I talked about, which is part of the Ukraine National Guard. It was incorporated from this to that, and then it has the same heart, but it's good for them. The 36th Special Marine Brigade of Ukraine's Naval Forces and the 12th Brigade of the National Guard. Border guards, police officer, and territorial defense squads formed shortly before the war supplemented their ranks. The bulk of these forces were deployed to defend Mariupol, home to the strategically located port, and blah, blah, blah. Now, it says here that all these people moved to the Azovstal steel plant after they were being pushed back by the Russian army, and They joined the Azov Regiment, a National Guard unit with roots in the far right, and some of them were captured by the Russians. Yeah, why does Russia label them nationalists? In announcing Azovstal seizure, the Russian Defense Minister's chief spokesman referred to the Azov Regiment fighters as Nazis and said their commander was taken away in an armored vehicle because of the local residents' alleged hatred of him for numerous atrocities. We'll find out. No evidence has surfaced of the regiment mistreating Ukrainian civilians, uh, hundreds of whom sheltered underground Azovstal. All right, and that's one thing. The National Guard unit grew out of a group of called Azov Battalion. So the National Guard unit grew out of a group called the Azov Battalion, formed in 2014 as one of many volunteer brigades that rose to bolster Ukraine's underfunded and questionably led military in the fight against Russia-backed separatists in East Ukraine. So there's the Azov Battalion drew its initial fighters from far-right circles and elicited criticism for some of its tactics. What would that be? So, nevertheless, these are the Azov regiment. This is the one that is regiment or battalion. This is what they are. Oh, now they talk about Thermopylae, and they make the 300 Spartans hold out the Persian forces in 480 BC, like the Azovstal plant. They make this connection that is not, do not insult the Spartans, and that's 300. Well, you know why? Because they all died. Who stood over there? These guys surrendered. So that's one of the aspects, and there's more than that. But nevertheless, this is one. It's not to minimize their heroism, the guys in Azovstal. No, it's not that. But do not, you don't go that far, because if you go that far, then you would call the defenders of Berlin the last 300 as well, would you? And why not? Oh, because they were bad? Yeah, but the courage is neutral, isn't it? Yes, as an ideal, yes, it is. So nevertheless, these guys will be trialed, this guy will be interrogated, and we will find out who they were. I'm no word yet about the foreign fighters who might have been there, uh, or as I said, other groups, maybe some NATO commanders and some mercenaries. But we will find out pretty soon who was over there and who's who, what's what. Now, when the Russians will come with all that, obviously from 10 go to 8. All right, so about 20% just discard, because the 20% is probably exaggerated. It's not only the Russians. That's a common policy when you do these kind of things in propaganda, public relations, interrogation, all this add. Because you start with this, you are this, and we're going to make you say that you are that. If you say it quickly, that's fine, but that's what's going to be. That's how it's always been like this in any kind of interrogation. You try to reach a point, not, okay, let me see what you're going to say. No, I want you to say this. Usually that's how it goes, because you're going to win points with your own army, with your own population, with the world community's, opinion. Well, thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.